Wakanda, 10,000 BC. Membek crushed Thulsa Doom's head in her metallic hands, his body disintegrated on the vibranium meteor which descended over Wakanda. Membek anamorphed into a Kora eagle and the warbird flew like lightning to distance itself from the meteor's landfall. She got as far as the frozen Jabari Mountains of northern Wakanda before the shockwave of the meteor's impact knocked her down. Chapter 1 Border Fishing Village, Northeast Wakanda. Present-day 2 giant Kora eagles glided over the river and came into the village during the night to speak with T'Challa the Black Panther. His feline sense of smell told him that his sister Shuri was the bird on the right and her mother-in-law was on the left. The mystical birds looked down at him with flaming red eyes, then they spoke through their metallic beaks. "I have to go an unknown world to master another Membek gift. I wish that I could tell you more, but tradition does not permit it," said Shuri. "I understand. I wish you a speedy return," said T'Challa. "Love you, brother." "Love you too, sister," said T'Challa. The eagles took flight and disappeared into the night sky. T'Challa's daughter, Chimera, came out of her hut. "Why didn't Anta stay? I only got a whiff of her scent before it went," she said. "Your aunt came to deliver a message." "Okay, Dad," said Chimera. She yawned and returned inside to finish her sleep. T'Challa was working with a holographic computer before the visit, so he resumed his project as he sat next to Chimera's Black Panther. T'Challa ran his hand on the beast to coax it back to sleep. His computer indicated that the shadow physics sensors had discovered a realm on the mystical level. T'Challa had been on the lookout for a new avenue in which to hide and deploy his antimatter bombs as part of Wakanda's revamped national arsenal. T'Challa decided to investigate this discovery. He activated a hoverboard from nanorobots within his boots and adjusted his time-space medallion to the frequency of the new realm. Then T'Challa teleported. Chapter 2 An ethereal plane. The vibranium meteor's mystical properties sent tremors through the unseen realms when it arrived in Earth's solar system. Several dead mystical Lumrians called the Black Circle tried to absorb the meteor's powers in order to return to the physical realm. Thulsa Doom was one of them. Shuri became aware of these things as she used the Membek gift of vibrating her molecules at a meta-human speed to pass through the membranes that separate dimensions. She traveled to an unseen Wakanda where Vi and her glided over a vast virgin forest. Their Kora eagle forms casted great shadows on the trees. The women came upon corpse circles that matched the symbols on their warrior garbs when in human form. Vi descended and Shuri followed her, then they reverted to their human modes. Vi said, "Membek was created to kill sorcery. This plane of existence is actually a single landmass that covers the world. It is both a place of learning and a prison for unwanted forces." "Is Thulsa Doom still around?" asked Shuri. "Yes, but he has changed. He has developed a peaceful face and has made his hair long and straight. You might see him near a river in Lumrian robes. He will seem innocuous, but you must strike him down on sight." "Why?" "I am sure as Wakanda's former head of state you were briefed on things such as Vishanti and Agamotto. Thulsa Doom is older than they are. He must not regain his strength. Today you will learn the cycle of when to come and hunt him down." "I see. The gifts of multiplicity the black birds, of strength the Kora eagle, of lightning speed and invulnerability the metal skin will suffice for the hunt. Soon I will give you the last gift and then I will not have to come here anymore," said Vi. "These are major secrets to keep from our spouses. Were you ever tempted to tell your husband at least?" "No, and Shuri, under no circumstances are you to tell my son about this. Membek entrusted this family line with her powers because she believed we were disciplined enough to follow through with her instructions. If you cannot keep your oath, then divorce my son so that he can marry someone of the Jabari clan. I will train my firstborn granddaughter, and if it is a boy then I will train his wife." Shuri saw that Vi's ploy was to overwhelm her with how burdensome the Membek gifts were. She was offended that Vi brought up her pregnancy in such an underhanded manner in their ongoing feud over the marriage. Shuri instinctively held her midsection as she was in the early stages of the pregnancy. Vi took her hand and led her to a crop circle symbol. Membek's creators were Atlanteans and they sacrificed themselves to give her the ability to track Thulsa Doom and his ilk. Vi told Shuri to close her eyes and to concentrate, that Thulsa Doom's presence would come naturally to her. "It will feel like touching coarse fur," whispered Vi. Shuri pondered on the reason Thulsa Doom did not ambush his hunters at the crop circles, because it was something that she might have done if she was in his position. She thought of how Vi's family were unaware that she secretly fought demons in another world. The only other person who knew the truth was Jabari, the founder of their clan. His people dug Membek out of an avalanche and she resided with them for some time. She told Jabari that she perished when the space gods destroyed the ancient world and the vibranium meteor brought her back to the physical realm, but at a price. She foresaw that her being would fade away entirely from existence. She needed to transfer her powers to someone and give them the responsibility of keeping Thulsa Doom dead. Jabari wedded her to one of his sons to make her formally a part of the clan. He said that the clan took responsibility for the protection of her lineage and for the powers to be passed down to the females in her line. Chapter 3 Thulsa Doom was a warrior priest king when he lived on Earth. He told his followers that he was made by an elder god. He sat on the log of a tree that he felled with his minor powers. Fragments of his memory told him that he was reborn hundreds of times and that his killers appeared in the form of his daughter Membek. He waited patiently for the next round of the battle. Then 2 giant eagles landed to the side of him. He noted that the eagles were of the Kora variety that armies once rode on. "Hello," he said in a wise old voice. The 2 women that came from the birds were dark-skinned like him. He recognized the eldest from the last time he fought a master and an apprentice. "Always 2 against 1, he said and grinned. He looked at the young woman. "Is that you, Membek? My child, who the Atlanteans turned against me? Who else could topple me other than my own flesh and blood?" asked Thulsa Doom. The young woman hesitated. "The memories creep back to me every time that I am killed and I come back a little more stronger than before. In time it will take more than 2 of you to finish me off," said Thulsa Doom. He rose and walked with his arms outstretched to the women and he said, "I will not resist this time. If you don't kill me, then I will grow stronger. If you do, then I return stronger. My time on the tree of woe is over." The older woman stepped several paces back and her student followed. "Take my life," said Thulsa Doom. The women turned into the birds and left. He sat on the log and meditated. Something moved behind him. He turned and saw a man in a black cat suit. A panther seal medallion was around the stranger's neck. His face was covered with a peculiar mask. "Who are you?" asked Thulsa Doom. "Nobody," replied T'Challa. "I am not in the mood to deal with a nobody." "Move along," said Thulsa Doom. Then Thulsa Doom smelt something that brought back a memory of a mountain-sized object that fell from the heavens. Thulsa Doom remembered the scent. It was vibranium and the cat man was covered in it. As Thulsa Doom rose in astonishment, a contraption grew out of the cat man's boots and the device catapulted him into the sky. Then the cat man was gone. Chapter 4 T'Challa's exploration of the New World brought him into contact with snake men, 2-headed humanoids, warrior spiders, and a man who sat on a log. His sister's scent was near the man on the log and T'Challa saw no traces of violence, so he assumed that Shuri had gone somewhere else. "This must be the secret world that she spoke about," muttered T'Challa. "Vi will be upset that I am here." T'Challa refrained from contacting Shuri over her kimoyo and it was clear to him that the place was not suitable for his antimatter bombs. T'Challa's hyper-hearing picked up the sound of an object on his blind side. Chapter 5 Thulsa Doom levitated the log and threw it at the cat man, who wheeled and blocked the projectile with a luminous hand shield that appeared suddenly. The cat man leapt from his contraption and his suit transformed into a bulky armor that Thulsa Doom sensed had mystical protection spells. The cat man threw knives of light at him. Thulsa Doom created 2 copies of himself, one to the front and the other to the back of him. Thulsa Doom stepped away from both and he watched as the knives shattered the first copy while the cat man appeared behind the second one, running a spear of light through it. Thulsa Doom teleported to a safe distance away. He was angry for his error in attacking the strangers so soon. He might have tried to befriend him, learn his skills and then try for the medal. Perhaps he still could do all those things. The flying contraption went to the cat man and he stood on it. "My apologies. You resembled an old nemesis. I was wrong to attack you," said Thulsa Doom. "I do not care, Loom Ryan," said the cat man. "So you recognize my kind," said Thulsa Doom. "Your breastplate bears the image of Set," replied the cat man. "Who are your people?" "Warriors. From our melee I can see that your people are astute in war science," said Thulsa Doom. "I am an admirer of such skill." "I don't have the time for conversation," said the cat man. "My daughter was stolen from me and my wife destroyed. My friends are the Kora Eagle women and they are hunting the kidnappers who have gone east, but the person who orchestrated the attack on my family resides in the south. That was the reason for my despondency when you came across me. Friend, help me slay the fiend in the south," said Thulsa Doom. He held out his hand and an image of Membek's young face appeared between him and the cat man. Chapter 6 Shuri believed that enough time was given to Vi to think about the news from Thulsa Doom. She went to her mother-in-law, who meditated in one of the crop circle symbols. "How do we approach this?" asked Shuri. "I am concerned about your safety after I am gone. If Thulsa Doom breaks the cycle of how long it takes for his strength to develop, then you may have to face him multiple times alone," replied Vi. "And if he is bluffing?" "We cannot take that chance," replied Vi. "I can take him," said Shuri. "We act cautiously," said Vi. "There is something else that is not clear to me. In the Song of Membek that you recited, it mentioned that Thulsa Doom was one of several dead mystics. Where are the others?" asked Shuri. "There is a ring in the south and the other mystics were trapped inside of it by Thulsa Doom," replied Vi. "What happens if we free these mystics?" "They can consume Thulsa Doom's strength through constant battles," said Shuri. "Those mystics were cannibals and performed human sacrifices much like Thulsa Doom." "We cannot side with them," said Vi. "It is an option," said Shuri. "No, I will have to pull rank on this issue because it involves Wakanda's national security. If Thulsa Doom manages to break free of this world, he will emerge in our country. You cannot pull rank on me. I am the head of the commando unit. The Membek gifts belong to my private life due to marriage. I am making the decision to release the mystics as a commando." "What nonsense! I have dual responsibilities," said Shuri. Vi walked away. "If Thulsa Doom escapes, then everyone will know what the Membek gifts are for," said Shuri. Vi laughed mockingly and said, "Sometimes I forget that you are a Black Panther clan woman, so making alliances with murderers in order to win is not beneath your ethics. Can we go now to the ring?" "Please," said Shuri. Chapter 7 The ring was a massive circular stone structure that Thulsa Doom said housed his enemy. T'Challa came with the mystic to find out about the other possible threats that this world posed to Wakanda. T'Challa was uncertain if the story about the daughter was true. At first sight there were no doorways into the structure until Thulsa Doom showed T'Challa that the walls overlapped each other and between the walls were passageways. Thulsa Doom led T'Challa through many paths until they were in darkness. T'Challa's meta-human night vision made him see in the tunnel that he was now inside of. His hyper senses of smell and hearing detected no other presence besides him and Thulsa Doom. The mystic glanced back at T'Challa and his eyes were luminous. "We are close," Thulsa Doom whispered. T'Challa smelled decay and he saw where it came from. He entered a crypt and several bodies were chained high on the walls like trophies. "Your protection spells are impressive. Some of them are not native to Earth. Luckily the ones that are of Earth were originally created by the individuals that you see here. They were the mystics that came after me. Their spells were to protect them from me," said Thulsa Doom. T'Challa threw his spear at Thulsa Doom and it stopped in mid-air. "I will strip the metal from your body piece by piece. You have permission to beg for mercy at any time," said Thulsa Doom. From his mask, T'Challa activated the offensive capabilities of his hoverboard, which he had left outside. The machine went over the ring and fired on T'Challa's location with plasma bursts. The crypt's ceiling shook so violently that Thulsa Doom was distracted by it. T'Challa threw small spore grenades at Thulsa Doom which the mystic stopped inches from his face but he could not prevent the emission of the gas spores. T'Challa's meta-human speed had him in close proximity to the mystic. T'Challa felled Thulsa Doom with a roundhouse kick. The Black Panther summoned his clawed mystic gauntlets and jammed the claws in Thulsa Doom's chest but he teleported away. T'Challa caught Shuri's scent in the passageways and as he teleported Shuri entered the crypt with her lightning speed. The siblings saw each other for an instant. Then T'Challa disappeared. Chapter 8 Shuri and Vi came to the ring when the hoverboard started its barrage. "What is that?" asked Vi. Shuri barely saw the device before she turned from the Korra eagle into a human. Vi came down behind her and Shuri held her hand. "Thulsa Doom is inside," said Shuri. They quickly discovered the passageways and ran to the crypt. T'Challa was the last person that Shuri expected to see there. He vanished like a ghost. Shuri spun around to find out if Vi saw him but apparently she did not. Vi's focus was on the cracked ceiling. Vi found something else this time on the floor. There was a claw mark and shreds of clothing. "There was a battle here. Did you see anyone?" asked Vi. "No," replied Shuri. Shuri concentrated and she sensed where Thulsa Doom had gone to. "Thulsa Doom is not that far from here," said Shuri. "Now let us free these other mystics." She looked at the bodies that were on the walls. "Any ideas on how to free them?" asked Shuri. "I will demonstrate the last gift that I will pass on to you," said Vi. Then she resurrected the bodies with a hand gesture. "We are more than just killers and I will never forgive you for making me do this," said Vi. The bodies quivered and the chains broke. Dazed men and women stumbled onto the ground. "Now that this is done, let us deal with Thulsa Doom," said Shuri. Seconds later, they ran out of the ring and met Thulsa Doom miles away. Shuri did not stop running when she saw him walking with his back to her. She stabbed her hand into his body and pulled out his spine. Thulsa Doom disintegrated into dust. She stopped and looked at the spine that faded into nothingness. Vi held Shuri's face. "I hope you understand the consequences," said Vi. "I understand," said Shuri. "Wakanda, the fishing village. Did you tell Vi about me being there?" asked T'Challa. "It was not necessary," replied Shuri. T'Challa explained how he met Thulsa Doom but Shuri gave no information on what she and Vi were doing in that world. T'Challa respected her decision. "But is that place a threat to the country?" asked T'Challa. "Perhaps, but I am monitoring it," replied Shuri.